The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Mark.
Glory to you, O Lord.
In those days, when there again was a great crowd without anything to eat, Jesus summoned the disciples and said, "My heart is moved with pity for the crowd, because they have been with me now for 3 days and have nothing to eat. If I send them away hungry to their homes, they will collapse on the way. And some of them have come a great distance." His disciples answered him, "Where can anyone get enough bread to satisfy them here in this deserted place?" Still, he asked them, "How many loaves do you have?" They replied, "7." He ordered the crowd to sit down on the ground. Then taking the 7 loaves, he gave thanks, broke them, and gave them to his disciples to distribute. And they distributed them to the crowd. They also had a few fish. He said the blessing over them and ordered them distributed also. They ate and were satisfied. They picked up the fragments left over, 7 baskets. There were about 4,000 people. He dismissed the crowd and got into the boat with his disciples and came to the region of Dalmanutha. The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
Kapag may mabibigat na karanasan na pinagdadaanan, what do we make of those situations? What do we make of those instances? Kapag merong mga krisis, ano bang tinatawag natin? No? As faithful, what do we call those cases, those situations that we sometimes find difficult to confront? Karamitang tawag natin sa kanila ay mga pagsubok. We would even console ourselves or people who would come to us to seek our counsel. We would even tell them, pinagdadaanan lang yan. Pagsubok, pinagdadaanan lang. Huwag kang manahan dyan. Darating ang oras, maiiwan din yan. So kaya nga pinagdadaanan lang, huwag kang umupo dyan. Huwag kang manatili dyan. So just go pass through. At darating din ang panahon, makalalagpas ka din sa pagsubok na yan. When people would come to me and tell me of situations like that they are going through, no, dahil sa ako ay pari, I would tell them, hindi yan ibibigay sa iyo kung di mo kaya. Just like our reflection, on the invitation of Jesus to his disciples, to come to him so that we can find rest. For his yoke is easy and his burden light. Ang sabi natin doon sa pagdinilay na iyon, nung sabihin niya that the burden that he gives ay light or easy, ang sabi natin, ang pamatok na iyon nakahakab sa kanyang balikat. Kaya hindi tumatama sa mga buto dahil saktong-sakto. So that's what I tell people. Kaya yan binigay sa iyo kasi yan yung pagsubok na nakadesign para sa iyo. That trial is meant to make you stronger and not to break you. Kaya nasa iyan dahil para sa iyan. So bigay ng Diyos para sa iyan. So that is how we try to understand whenever we are in difficult situations Whenever we find some problems na sa tingin natin ay mabigat, inuunawa natin at ang sinasabi natin, ito ay pagsubok lang. Ito ay galing sa Diyos na binigay sa atin at meron siyang inaasahang pagtugon para sa atin. Now that is how I try to understand today's gospel. Ito ang Panginoon, kita niya ang problema at ang kanyang unang ginawa, sabi ni Mark, Jesus summoned the disciples and said, sinabi niya ang problema. So it is like Jesus telling His disciples, eto ang pagsubok para sa inyo. Of course, alam natin na ito ay alam ng Diyos ang dapat maisakatuparan. Alam natin na bilang Diyos na may kapangyarihan, alam niya ang pwedeng maging pagtugon. Pero why did He have to call His disciples? Why did He have to tell them His concerns o that concern? Bakit niya sinasabi yung kanyang disposition? My heart is moved with pity for the crowd. Bakit niya sinabi ang sitwasyon kung nasaan ang mga tao? They have nothing to eat for 3 days now. Sinabi rin niya magiging hinaharap. If they will be sent home, they will collapse on the way. So, kita nga't malinaw, pagsubok. It was a test that He was giving His disciples. He knew the answer all along, but He wanted to test His disciples. How are you going to respond to this situation? Knowing my feeling towards people who are hungry. Knowing my disposition towards these people. Knowing their very situation. And knowing what would become if we will do nothing to them. Or if we will take this particular action for them. Kita natin anong naging pagtugon ng mga apostol. While Jesus saw the need and expressed His feelings about it, the disciples saw the impossibility of the whole situation, on how they are helpless when confronted with that situation. Kaya ang Diyos, ang Panginoon, pa rin ang nakaisip on how they will deal with it. Pinamukha ng Panginoon, look, you have what it takes to solve this problem. You have it in you. You have with you what they need, these people need, in order for us to respond to this very problem that I am presenting to you. You have loaves of bread. You have a couple of fish with you. At kailangan lang ilatag sa kamay ng Diyos, ibalik muli sa Diyos, at mapapasa tao ang hinihingi nila at nilalayon na himala. Magandang makatulong para sa atin sa pag-unawa. Tunay na maraming mga sitwasyon ng buhay, ganun nga ang pag-unawa. Pagsubok. Galing mismo sa Diyos, inilalatag sa atin ng Diyos, at hinahamon tayo ng Diyos kung paano tayo tutugon sa mga inilalatag niyang pagsubok. Ang kasagutan minsan nasa sa atin mismo. Pero dapat nasa atin pa rin ang pagkilala bilang Diyos, nakabatid ng lahat at puno ng kapangyarihan, habag para sa tao. Kinakailangan nating maibalik sa Diyos, at ang Diyos sa tulong niya, biyaya at awa, ang magdadala ng ating nilalayon, maglalayo sa atin o magsasalba sa atin mula sa mga pagsubok na ito. Let us now stand and present to God our petitions.